Hi everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. So in today's video, I would like to show you how to make distress fabric flowers, and they're very simple to do. You can use scraps to do these flowers. So they're distressed, and if you used very light colors like cream or white or very light pink, they would really have a shabby look to them. But I didn't really have the exact colors, so I just thought this would be anyway a very interesting way to make flowers for embellishments. You can use these also for your cards if you wanted to, because they're not that thick. If you use something flatter as the center here, it would really fit into a card but still keep its 3D look to it. So I really like them, and if I come closer, you're gonna see that I've used certain types of fabric that do fray. If you want to have this distressed look, you need to have something that it frays a lot, and you're going to have to help it a little bit more. But I'm going to show you two more examples here. They're the same flowers. I just distressed one, and I really tried to fray it as much as I could. I could have probably spent more time on this, and this one is just natural. I almost leave it as is. The other difference here is the cut here that I made into my fabric. Here it's fairly large compared to this one. Here my cuts are much smaller, about the half of it. So it's also going to give a little different look. So really, depending on what you want, the looks are going to be very different. This one is really distressed, and it looks like crazy stuff, a little bit like my hair in the morning when I wake up, and this one is neater. So depending on the look you want, just go for one or the other, maybe both. Also depending on the theme you have or the person maybe you want to offer it to. I really like this one. I like the color of it. I've got some glue strings here I need to take away, but I really enjoy doing this. So it's going to be very simple. The materials, oh, I wanted to show you this one. I didn't put the center yet, but I hope you'll be able to see it. But it's got a shimmer to it. I've put a little bit of glitter on the edges, and I've decided that this one was white. Actually, it's about the same color as this one, not exactly, a little lighter. And I just sprayed out the edges of these flowers with acrylic paint that I thinned down with rubbing alcohol, so it's going to evaporate and dry very quickly. I'm not sure you'll be able to pick up the glitter on this, but anyway. So you will need some fabric, and again, some fabric that is going to fray quite a lot if this is the look you want to have it. And let me take another one that I didn't do yet. I'm going to take this white one here. It's not completely white, it's a kind of egg color. So let me see, I might go here, but I have a lot of glitter, but that's going to be okay. Just, oh yeah, you're going to be able to see it much better. So the length, I can give you some measurements. It's at least 20 inches long for about 2 inches wide, but this is really up to you depending on how big you want your flower and how large you want it to be. If you want to be smaller with the little cuts inside, you need to play with this to really know how you want it, and then you'll fix up the length to it. So, and then you're going to also need some hot glue. So I've used mine a low temp because I don't want to burn myself, because this is fabric. If you want to use anything else, go for it. And you're going to fold it in half like this, and we're going to glue just these two parts. So of course I already cut my fabric here, and I'm going to start on one end here, and I'm going to do kind of small parts. I can't do it all the way along just at once because I'm on a low temp, and I'm fairly not completely accurate, but I'm trying to put the two edges up and try to be even. Doesn't have to be perfect because this bottom part here is going to be hidden. So you need to do this all the way up. So of course I already did one, and this is what I just came up with. And then we're going to do some slits. So I would recommend using good scissors for these. I'm using fabric scissors. I never cut anything else. And what I like to do in order to go a little faster is just to fold it in half. If your fabric is really thin, you might want to fold it one more time, but this one is quite stiff, so I'm not sure I'm going to be able to cut through all the layers. So I'm just going to fold them. Try to put them border to border as even as you can, and then you're going to start making your slits. So you can space them as much as you wish. I'm going for about 1/4 of an inch deep. You can go further in. It's going to look like this. The deeper you go, it's going to be, it's going to wiggle a little bit more. If you go less, let me see which one. Even this one, no, this one was quite deep. This one was less deep. It's not going to move along so much. So it's going to have, again, a different look. So I'm just going to do this fairly even. You don't have to measure anything. If some of them are a little smaller than the others, that's totally fine. So we're going to do this all the way until the end. And again, I've advanced myself, so this one is already done. And what you will also need is, for the bottom part, I didn't show you this, but I used a piece of felt, and I used brown because I know that these are going to be glued to a card, so I won't be able to see the back of it. But if you want to match it exactly, you can use the same fabric. I just already cut mine into this brown one because I think brown and beige is quite nice together. So now what you're going to do, and I'm going to cut this piece because it's really not nice, and I want to try and begin with something a little neater. So you see, this can obviously be a piece of scrap fabric, and you're going to start putting a glue. So I didn't cut my circle very well, and you're going to ask me, what is the size of your circle? Well, it depends on the size of your flower, so you're really going to have to play with this. Usually I try to make it a little bigger than the width of my fabric here. And if I'm not gonna use this whole bit here. I'm gonna have to cut it, so that's gonna be good because I'm probably gonna make 2 or 3 of these. So now I'm gonna put some glue. I'm gonna start putting our flower together. So just do a little bit, don't go crazy, don't do a bigger piece like this, and I'm gonna start putting it around like this. And every time we're gonna start turning and twisting our fabric a little bit. And here I'm just to cut it down because I've noticed that it's going to be nicer in the end. So then I fold it back, and I'm going to start where I finished. Put more glue here. And this one is going to be rather big. And you see, if I want to turn, I have to overlap here a little bit. So what I do then is I just put a dab of glue underneath my fabric and fold it back like this. And this part is going to be hidden anyway. So I'm going to keep on doing this all the way. And I'm doing sections by sections. I think it looks better. If you want to go too quick, especially if you have a low temp glue gun, it's going to dry on you very quickly. You could also probably cut this piece here if you wanted to. And then we're going to do the second layer, but we're not going to cut our fabric here. If you want, and if you feel more comfortable cutting it and starting again the second layer, that's totally up to you. I'm just giving you some ideas and the way I do it, but you can obviously adapt to your own way where you feel more comfortable. And when you have this kind of fabric that is quite stiff, it's going to look a little square like this, but don't worry about it because we're going to be able to scrunch it up a little bit later on to make it more like a round shape. And I'm starting to overlap here just a tiny bit. Not completely, but just a little bit. And I'm really happy with the glue gun because it really sticks to fabric very well because it's a porous surface. And also because it's going to dry very quickly. So this is really why I like that. And it's not going to cost you much. If you're using some scraps, it's going to be just perfect. And now I'm still overlapping, but I'm going a little bit inwards. You see, I'm leaving a little gap here. Let me get a little closer, not too much. I'm just giving a little gap, so I think it's more interesting. And every time we're going to start the second or the third row, we're going to do this the same way. So if you want to fast forward, I'm not going to show you all the way because I think you understand the way I made it, and I'll show you how you can finish your flower. Okay, so now that I'm quite happy with it, I don't want to do more. What I'm going to do is just trim some place here when I want to finish it, where I've already done a slit. Let me take all these glue strings away. And don't throw this away, you might need it. I'm going to show you in a second. And now I'm going to try and finish it a nice way. Maybe like this. Yes, I like it. So, whoops. Yes, I'm going to put some hot glue here. A little bit underneath. There, and I'm just going to press it down. And a little bit here just to keep it open. And if the inside of your flower it doesn't look great, don't worry. If you want to make more loops inside, you can, but if you want to stop here, you just need to put something big in the center to cover it up. But before doing this, I would recommend starting to fluff it. Ooh, these glue strings. So at this stage, what I'm going to do is just, depending if you want to make it really distressed or not, this one I need to make it a little shorter. So you know what I'm going to do, because look at that, it's going a bit out. I am just going to put a tiny bit of glue here and kind of shorten it. And I don't really care if it's not beautiful on the back. Like I said, I'm going to glue this onto a card. It doesn't really have to be perfect. And it's not that ugly anyway. So if you wanted to, again, you could put something in the middle. This is maybe not the best color, and probably something bigger. And then you have to play around with your fabric to make it really look nice. Otherwise, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start doing this in order, and as you can see, I'm going to come back a little closer. I'm putting my fingers in the middle, and I'm starting to crunch everything up, and it's going to start to fray. So yes, you will have a lot of these pieces everywhere, but hey, if you want to have something nice, you've got to spend some time on it, right? So I know this is not really riveting, but you need to spend some time depending on how much, again, you want it to have this distressed look. You can do this maybe watching your favorite show on TV or listening to music or even an audiobook. I think sometimes we forget to read or we don't have time. And I'm not making any commercial for audiobook, but I like sometimes to listen to one, or stories like that. I think it's great. So I'm doing on one side, and then I just change to make sure I'm really going in here everywhere with my fingers and pulling all these bits like this. And also I'm fluffing it up a little bit. So you can spend maybe 10 minutes on this if you wanted to. And what I also tried yesterday, and I think it's going a little faster, but be careful with the trick I'm going to show you because it might damage some of your fabrics, is to use a brush. This one is a very old brush. I just keep it in my craft room. And you can also use this to help the fabric. It's going to make it happen a little faster, but I'm not a very patient person. But otherwise, yes, look at that. It's going much faster. But I think I prefer doing it with my hands because I've got more control on what I'm doing actually. And there you go. You've got really a more distressed look now with all these little bits going out. And again, what do I have here? I have this one that I made. It's not finished yet. It's a bit small. The color is not the right color. But you can use something really bigger like old jewelry, old brooches, and you can always put these back in here. I should need something really big, or maybe because I've still got some fabric and I can come back and fill the middle if I need to. But I can make it really fluffy. And I wanted to show you something else. If you missed a spot, here it's kind of okay. But if I show you this one here, and I'm going to put a white piece on paper on the back. Because as you can see, I've got a big gap here. It's not really a hole, but it's a gap. So what you can do if you have a little left over is use your piece, and I had a smaller one. Let me find it. Normally it was supposed to be just here. Okay, never mind. So you can trim just 2 or 3 pieces there, and I'm going to have to zoom in more a little bit, and glue it on the back of it. Maybe just 2 or 3 like this. You will have to scrunch it up a little bit to get all these fibers out, but it's going to fill the gap. Okay, and I've already did the slits here. It's just a leftover. So let me just show you, because that's probably what I'm going to do. And open it a little bit so it looks natural, and I'm going to glue it like this. So I won't have this big gap any longer. My slits are a bit too big, so I'll have to trim them down, but I think you get the gist. And that's how you can fill the gaps if you really made a mistake somehow, or you rolled too tight. So there you go. Very easy. I think it's really great. It's lightweight. You don't have to buy special fabrics for this if you've got some home. Just it'll be easier for you if that fabric, again, because that's quite important, if you really can't get all these fibers out. And look at distress. So it needs to fray a lot. We usually don't like fabric when it frays, but I think it's going to be very useful for these projects. And I don't know if you already saw this one from close, but I put some glitter. Did I tell you that in the beginning? Oh my goodness, I'm forgetting what I'm telling you. Realize that. Well, I'm maybe a little stressed out right now, I have to tell the truth, because I'm gonna move and I'm gonna leave this place, I'm gonna leave this country. So my goodness, yeah, I'm a little stressed out, so I'm sorry for that. But there you have it. And this one is really nice. I like it. I love this this look, and it's really soft. It's a shame you can't feel it. And I've got this little one here. I do like it too, without being too much distressed. So yeah, tell me, which one do you prefer? I like this one. Again, I think I love them all. And I like this one really much as well. And I've got another one. So there you go. And to make this one, what I did, because that's white, I just put again some acrylic color into a spray bottle, and then I filled with rubbing alcohol, spray it really well, shake it very well, and then I just sprayed it with a little bit of cotton ball like I did here, and just went like this here and there, not too much. I just wanted to give it this little you know, pinkish orangey hue to it. So this is another way that you can color your fabric without having to buy one fabric pink, one fabric white, and another one, you know, all the colors. So it's gonna save you money. So if you liked this video, please give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell button, and also share on social medias. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.